What's up? Welcome back to the Built by Bailey's YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about plumbing 101, how to solder copper pipe. So let's get to it. All right, before we get started, if this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you can get all the videos as I produce them. I do videos every Monday and Friday afternoons, and it really helps grow the reach of this channel. I want as many people as possible to get this information in the world of real estate, home building, entrepreneurship. It is important that everybody has these tools, in my opinion. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. That really helps me when you like those videos as well. Spread the wealth. It's all free 99. I really appreciate it. And let's go take a peek at how we're gonna solder some copper pipe. Okay, stuff you're going to need in order to start your solder process. You're going to need a torch of some sort. There are two types of gases you can use with these torches. There's MAP gas, and then there's propane, which is what this is. MAP gas does burn a little bit hotter. Either one will work just fine. And you're also going to need the actual igniter and flame itself. This one has an electronic igniter, so you can see here, I turned it on, pull the trigger, bam, I got a flame, okay? Some of them you're gonna need an igniter for or a lighter, but this one in particular has its own lighter. You're also gonna need a pipe cutter. They make these in different sizes, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. This is going to be 1/2 inch pipe that I'm gonna show you guys in this example, so I got my 1/2 inch pipe cutters. I've got the actual solder itself right here. You're gonna need pipe cleaner for the inside of the pipe, and I'll talk about that in a second as the importance of that. You're also gonna need your abrasive sandcloth for plumbing right here. You can get this at any big box store. If you don't have some, don't wanna get some, it's okay. I've actually used sandpaper as well. That 60 to 80 grit sandpaper will work just fine for what we're gonna use that for. We're gonna need our flux. This is going to be lead-free flux, and there's two types of fluxes out there as well, and our flux brush itself. So I'll discuss all these different things next. Okay, so the first thing you wanna do, obviously, is measure and cut your pipe depending on what your project is. In this example, I'm just gonna show you how to use the pipe cutter itself, but you're gonna need a tape measure, and you're gonna learn how to use that tape measure to measure your distances for your elbows, your terminations, so forth. But in order to do that, the first step we have to do in the process is measure and get our layout for our pipe and cut it. So this is, like I said, this is a 1/2 inch copper pipe. Got my 1/2 inch cutters here. I'm just gonna set it on the pipe. I'm gonna close that sucker down, and I'm gonna turn it. And it will cut right through the pipe for me. So now you can see we're gonna have a little bit of burring on the end from the pipe as it gets cut, but we're gonna clean that up, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, preparing the pipe is the most important part of the process, and that involves not only clean up your burrs from your cut, but also cleaning the pipe on both ends of where it's gonna actually receive the solder itself to get joined. This is super, super important, and most leaks and other issues occur because the pipe is not cleaned properly. So we're gonna take our abrasive sandcloth, and we're gonna wrap it on here. We're gonna give it a good clean on the end where we're gonna actually solder that joint, okay? So I'm gonna wrap it on there. It's very important to get it to the look that we're trying to achieve here on both ends that are gonna get joined. Okay, so now you can see the difference here on what a actual prepared pipe for cleaning is, because we don't have any more markings on this pipe at all. You can see the difference here. That's what you want your pipe to look like to prepare it for the solder itself, okay? So we've done one end. Now we need to prepare the other end. So in this case, we're gonna join an elbow. Get rid of our sticker. We're gonna clean the inside of this pipe to prepare it. Now, most of these fittings obviously are gonna come pretty clean from wherever you're picking them up, your supplier, Home Depot, whatever, but you still wanna go ahead and prepare the inside of this and get it as clean as possible, because like I said, this is imperative to a nice solder joint. So there's the inside of that, and nice and clean, and it's ready for solder. Okay, the next step is to apply flux to the actual pipe that you're going to solder itself on both ends of the joint. I am using lead-free flux here because this is going to be water pipe. You want to use lead-free flux anytime you're bonding copper water pipe together. There's also lead-based flux, which is also called 50-50, and that's used for soldering together sewer lines and so forth. But you want to stay away from the lead, obviously. If you're doing water pipe, you don't want anything leaching into the water itself. And again, you want to grab both ends. Nice healthy rim of flux in there. You don't want to get crazy with it, but you want it nice and clean. Make sure the entire surface of both ends that's going to be bonded is covered. And the purpose of this flux is actually to create a capillary action within the pipe itself, which basically is the bonding action that's taking place once we heat the pipe up and we apply the solder to it. So once I've got that on there and it's clean, and wipe a little extra off, then I'm ready to go for the next step, which is actually going to heat up the pipe. Okay, next step is I'm actually to apply my solder to the pipe. And now with the flux on, it's ready to go. I'll go ahead and light this up. And so what I want to make sure I'm doing is I'm heating from the bottom of the pipe for two reasons. One, the solder, if you're trying to apply from the top, is going to want to fall off. And as it's trying to warm up and create that capillary action, it's actually going to drip off. So you want to start from the bottom up. And two, heat rises. So it's easier to heat that pipe up from the bottom itself. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to start testing it. And really, if it's warm enough, that capillary action will start sucking that sucker in there. And I can just move it around. All right, the only thing left to do is just to take a wet rag and clean off the pipe. You want to be careful that you don't touch the pipe directly with your hand because obviously it's been heated up and it's metal, so it's going to be hot. But I want to just wipe away some of my excess solder, clean it up, you know, take pride in your work, but also to make sure that we get a good action on the bond for the solder itself. Again, that capillary action in effect. Some plumbers I've seen actually take take flux and actually wipe flux onto the joint to cool it off faster. I will tell you, do not do that because you don't want the pipe to cool down too fast. I actually let this pipe sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how much I've actually run the solder on it, to make sure that it doesn't cool down too quickly, because that can reduce that bond very quickly because the pipe itself is going to shrink faster than it's actually setting up for on the bond. So that can actually cause cracking and leaking, and you don't want to apply flux to rapidly cool that pipe down. That's a big no-no. Just take a wet rag, wipe it off, again, making sure you don't touch the pipe directly with your hand. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Got any other questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. I really appreciate it. Again, hit that subscribe button for me. It really helps push out this content to everyone. And if you haven't already, check out our Built by Bailey's podcast as well. It's here on the YouTube channel, audio versions on Apple, Spotify, Google, Vurbl, and Podbean. All those links in the description as well. And I'm putting out videos every Monday and Friday afternoon, so make sure you hit that bell. Catch the next one. Till next time, guys. Later.